My only problem with the older rappers is
okay.
a lot of them are not delivering. Beans and meth are killing everything.
Okay, now when you say that, be more specific when you say that.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you an example.
Okay.
Right, and it's no, you know, not taking a shot, but
no, I know. Go ahead.
Memphis Bleak.
Okay.
Bleak did a song with Benny the Butcher.
Oh, okay.
And
probably Conway.
No, Benny the Butcher and Smoke DZA.
Smoke DZA. Okay. I ain't hear that. I gotta check for that.
Bleak had the weakest verse on the song.
Oh. Okay. Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And I was disappointed.
Wow.
Because this is somebody from my era.
Okay.
I want to talk about this verse with my coworker. Yo, Bleak smoke them niggas.
Okay.
Bleak, I can't.
Okay, well, you know what? Well, you know what? With a situation like that, I'm not gonna really speak upon that like that. You know, because number one, I didn't hear the jam.
Right.
That's number one. And but you know, sometimes, you know, the reason why I say I feel the older cats is really delivering to me because, like I said, what we've been dealing with is like, you know, even though we here to talk about Ak Skills, but some of the joints where Ak Skills been listening to, like that Ghost album right now, Supreme Clientele 2, that is fire. You dig what I'm saying? That Raekwon new album, that is fire. You know, I fucks with Clips, So Be It, that is fire.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? So, and everything Nas doing over there with the mass appeal and all that. You know, and then, you know, so we got some heavy ball spitters, us older cats, and these niggas better know that. But, you know, everybody on certain jams, you know, some people will step up, you know, and some people won't. The overall plan was to establish distribution. One of the last parties that we actually went to was for the Tru Criminal compilation album. I never forget, we did it out in, where was we at? Because Lee Rizdick was behind that. We was in Suffolk County. And it was a nice turnout. You know, I wish I had some of that footage because I got busy in it that night because I remember it was a situation where I had showed up, me and my man Cowboy showed up because I used to be my driver. They used to be taking me around to different spots. And it was some other dudes in the spot trying to like get busy at our party because the individuals didn't show up. I felt that was a move where if we was doing that for the compilation album, we should have did that in Manhattan. Because Manhattan, like where we at right now, Manhattan is the Mecca.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? When you know, no disrespect to Strong Island, because I got big up the Strong Island out there, but it's more isolated.
Right.
It should have been more or less in the city where the barrels can get to it. I guess, and I believe we would have had a better turnout. But we still got busy in there. I remember getting busy in there that night. And I remember I was promoting the brand, you know, myself along with the brand. And then it was like after that party, it was like, that's when communication lines pretty much got lost, you know. And I was seeing FT here and there, you know, periodically, you know, and it was just like gradually, you know, the contract was pretty much fulfilled because, like I said, it was a 2-single deal with an option. So let's look at it. The first single was Check the Flavor. The B-side was Nights of Fear. The second single was One Life to Live. You know what I'm saying? From the east to the west. And how from the east to the west really came about real quick, because that's my mom's favorite joint. And really, it was supposed to have went on a compilation album.
So hold on.
Yeah.
Now, this is after you come home.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
It was supposed to have went on a compilation album.
So you had the bars written.
Yeah, we had that, and actually, you know what's crazy? Because you can actually pull this section up actually even on Google. Because Eddie James, the dude that did the dude that was the producer on that, laid that whole thing down. He detailed in there how, because he ended up going on doing some joints for like, I think screenplays or something for movies, but he was going on the fact of, only thing about that article, nigga, I should have been in that article. You in the article with your cousin or whatever the case may be. But whatever the case may be, is like he described the professionalism, like, you know, and we went to, like I said, we went to Unique, you know, and like I said, you know, we was all kicking it in there, smoking and things of that nature. But like I said, I was always in professional mode. I go in there, it's time to get busy. Boom, we go in there, whip, do the ad libs, you know what I'm saying, chorus, come on out, and we done. And he actually detailed that. That's in an article where, because the name of the article is, he said, I believe something like, I left with nothing or something like that. So, but he was like Tru Criminal in-house producer.
Okay.
And he had strong beats, you know, and it was a beautiful thing because I had a chance to like go to Jersey, you know, and he was like in a condo over there, you know, and we did a lot of good pre-production over there, you know. So that's why I respect the label too. That's why I got big, like, listen, man, let me tell you something. I'm one of them dudes, man. I got big respect not for the label, man, because they
So
showed
hold up.
showed the artists a lot of love on there, man.
Hold up. So he was saying that this is after the label was over. He was saying he left with nothing?
No, he was, well, basically, I'm not gonna really say that. Obviously, whatever type of deal he had going on, because he was doing a lot of the pre-production for me, FT, Godsons, and things of that nature.
Right.
You know, that's what he stated in that article. I don't financially, I really don't know what he really left with, but you know, that's how the topic of the article was.
Right.
But pretty much the article was really detailing how when he was in the studio and how it was filled with mad bud, and you know, then he was like, well, you know, because him and Tru Criminal had went to school together.
Right.
Lee Resnick and Eddie J, they all was affiliates with each other. And the brother, like I said, was a good dude, and he detailed the good in the article, let it be known how we went in there and we knocked the joints out, One Life to Live, from the east to the west, and those was big singles too, right there. We sang about roughly maybe 70 to 80,000 units through moms and pops record stores, you know, and it was a lot of distribution. I keep mentioning that through this whole interview because even I got old freestyles. Well, when you hit me on Stretching by Beat though, like, yeah, we looking for the distribution, because that's very important. Because like I said, without that, the label and artists can suffer financial difficulty. You don't got the necessary resources that you need to push the product right. You know what I'm saying? So that's why the overall thing was to obtain that. So that's why, like I said before, I had got bagged in '98, you know, we was on the verge of actually getting that. But like I said, I was in the can, so I really don't know. I'm not gonna bash the label and say, well, I don't know what they really was doing, but I know within the time that I was gone and I came back home, there still was no distribution deal on the table. So I don't know what moves specifically was being made. They were sending me documentation. I was getting the Source magazine. I think like right before I came home, about '02, that's when the Bones movie came out. A lot of people don't know, if it ain't one thing, it's another, was in the Bones movie. You understand what I'm saying? When Snoop Dogg was Jimmy Bones. You know, I never forget, I was in Oneida on my way coming home, and they gave up a little 6 bands for that. You know, got what is called synchronization royalties off that, you know, and sent documentation up. I had to sign that, so that was a good look, because they liked the song so much, they wanted to put it on the soundtrack, but the soundtrack was full. So they said, you know, we're going to put it in the movie. You know what I'm saying? So that was also a good look. I sit there, I always post that, put that up on there. It's an actual New Line Cinema movie. And shout out to FT. You know, I remember FT had a joint in Final Destination,
right.
You them too. So the reason why I'm saying that, you know, we had a real promising label getting on soundtracks and big name movies. You know, it's just that, like I said, a few dots and T's wasn't just connected right. You know, and then like I said, you know, with me going to the can, you know, I blame really myself for that, because I always say to myself, like, I can only imagine how things might have even turned out that would have never happened. You know, but unfortunately, you know, Allah takes you do these type of things in life, and you just got to deal with it head on. And like I said, don't never complain about nothing. Like my motto is like this anyway: don't complain, because don't nobody give a fuck. You heard? So just stay in your motion, stay in your lane, stay doing what you got to do, and just come up.
Right.
You know?
Do you think Tru Criminals was fair to you?
Yes.
Yeah.
The reason why I would say that, because like I said, this was some individuals that, like I said, they came out to Far Rockaway and they grabbed the diamond out the dirt, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that, because there was a lot of dudes coming up to me, yo, Ak, we go do this, and yo, Ak, we go get this going, and we go get this going, but they was So the reason why I respected them brothers, because, you know, they put the money behind what they were saying. Like I said, when we first signed, just to nip right through that, they got me plugged with Law Finesse, with Buck Wild, then Eddie James, then, you know, they was pressing the records, putting us in big name studios where, you know, and then I had to, like I said, where it came, they also gave me good advice, yo, like as far as, I remember the label told me, like, because it was some Muslim dude trying to sign me like a management agreement. And the label told me one time, they said, the dude came straight to my crib with a contract. He like, yo, you know, we can do this and do this. So I ran that by the label. I'm like, yo, this dude talking about, you know, he want to get me to sign a management agreement. And that's one thing I learned in this game a long time ago. You don't put your John Hancock on nothing that you're not familiar with. Right. Because people will tie you in to these clauses and these contracts they do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I even said that in my joint too. I said politicking with snake lawyers so I can see loot. Ain't nothing changed except I'm dealing with fiends in business suits. So the mentality is basically the same. It's just different attire and different attitudes on different folks. You know what I'm saying? But like you say, but back to your question, Tru Criminal was very fair. I don't have no complaints. I appreciate what they did, you know, because they gave me, they solidified me in these history books. You know what I'm saying? When the God is long and gone, you know, it was because of them. And me, and of course my talent also, you know what I'm saying? But I felt definitely that, you know what I'm saying, they treated me fair, yeah.
From the east to the west, there's a line where you said you're in a polluted industry.
Okay.
And it's like nonstop headache. Why would you still pursue that career though, knowing, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, but you know why I say that? Because, all right, that's a good question. I mean, I'm just a lyricist, man, a writer of lyrics. And I say that to say, you know, rapping is my passion. And long before I even got signed, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, the whole hood had knew about the God already anyway, because, you know, this was our passion for this. I remember when I was doing mixtapes, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Project Sales, GMF, you know, and it was dudes coming up to me like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, the mixtapes was bubbling, yo, you should be getting paid for doing that. And I'm like, nah, man, you know, once again, like brothers such as yourself, I appreciate the brother for putting me on the mixtapes. So I understood about you have to pay your dues. You're not gonna be getting paid for every damn thing. When I did Hot 97 ain't paid me a dime. See, that's another thing that a lot of people don't know. When you're doing these platforms sometimes, you know, it's a lot of promotion. And if you in the real world with real responsibilities, sometimes that can hinder and sidetrack things that you really want to do.
Right.
Like it could be your passion, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying, to spit bars, but I like the way, shout out to 50, I like how 50 did that, you know, but damn, I'm hungry now. Like, I need something to eat, you know? So that's why I never was one of them type of dudes, man. Like, I was always, like I said, I was doing Hot 97, but we got mad work and shit at home, or we got something, gigs lined up, or something. You have to stay motivated, man, you know what I'm saying, and get to it, man, because like I said, we in a fucked up world, man, you know what I'm saying? So you got to do what you got to do, and that's why I don't have no regrets about nothing I did. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said before and earlier in the interview, if you had regrets about doing something, you shouldn't have did it. Word.
Was the option on the table to do an album?
Yes. See, I believe that's what would have occurred if we would have got the overall distribution deal. Because and I was definitely putting all that on the Check the Flavor, Nights of Fear, from the east to the west, because that was like sort of like a little EP with all the joints I had dropped. You know, so use the standard album, I'd have put about 11 on there, you know what I'm saying? But that was definitely what was in the plans, you know what I'm saying, a whole album, because I even wanted to do, Cosmic Cab wanted me to come down there in Philly.
Right.
And I had some dudes that was down in Philly, so it was like, see, this is another thing I want to mention too. Back to the distribution. When dudes was in other places, because I knew dudes that was in Ohio, dudes that was in PA, dudes that was in VA, was hearing the singles. Yo, Ak, I just heard your joint down here in VA. When they went to the store to try to go purchase it, it wasn't there. And see, that's where the distribution comes in that, because I had distribution pretty much in that tri-state area. We saying the 5 boroughs, maybe Connecticut. The furthest was really Connecticut. So that's where, you know, that's one of the pros and cons when you deal with independent labels too. You know, see, a major record company would have had all that there, you know. But, you know, when you're dealing with an independent, you know, if they don't have all the resources, sometimes this is where you can lack at with certain joints. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but overall, like I said, I feel we had a very very good label. You know what I'm saying?
So, as far as doing shows, did you do anything overseas, any shows overseas?
No, actually I didn't, and I would love, on some real shit, Mr. Dog, I would definitely love to go over there, because I need some of that Euro money. We know that Euro.
Right.
And one thing I respect about, too, overseas is, because I've been tapping in with a lot of DJs over there, dudes from Germany, believe it or not, dudes from Japan. It used to be a dude one time that was from Africa. Used to always be spinning One Life to Live. He'd show me, he'd send me like pause. He'd hit me in the DM, and then he'd show me like he playing the song and all that. So I would definitely like to go over there, because one thing about overseas, what I've noticed is they appreciate that good old hip hop.
Right.
They don't just run with anything that's coming out. You know what I'm saying? Like no disrespect with the city. You know what I'm saying? But it'd be a lot of that be coming out.
Yeah.
Be jagged.
Yeah.
You know, overseas, Germany, and all them spots, London, I would definitely love to go over there and do some of that. But a lot of shows that I was doing was like I hit the Q Club. Because see, when I bumped into Bill Blast, like I said, Blast was another one, may rest in peace too. He was in G-Rap videos. That's the nigga that G-Rap said, Blast, you my sidekick. So Blast was also another hustler. And what I respect about him was, because he told me straight up, I'm not even coming at you with no contracts and none of that. Mm-hmm. He like, yo, listen, I already know you, because he had to be a part of a group in Brooklyn too. It was called The Last Platoon. I was like an unofficial member, but I was writing a lot of bars for a lot of them cats that was in the group. And like I said, we got a chance. The big thing I would say that really came out, I got a chance to do BET with Rakim. They cut my freestyle. You know what I'm saying? That was Uptown. And people would say, well, where was that at? It was Uptown in Mount Morningside Park. You know, and they did the same. But I went through that with my man P Live, because when I first did Hot 97, I had my man P Live with me. We got busy. I know we got busy over just the Socrates beat, and it was the Fugees. How many mics do we rip Bone the Daily? And when the freestyle aired, they chopped my man Paul off. So I'm like, wow. And that's what the dude said. The Stretch said was like, yo, listen, we paid for time up here. It wasn't really about him, it was about you. And then as time went on, when I went and did it with Rakim, they cut my freestyle out and said, well, it wasn't really about you, it was about him. So I'm like, God damn, you just see me standing there. And, but that was a beautiful experience. I got a chance to be around Rakim, and Rod, never forget, he asked me, because he wanted to do it in front of the Apollo at first. But there was too many people there. So that's why, you know what I'm saying, Blast like, come on, Ak, you get in this Jeep with us. And Rob was driving, and he asked me, because he smoked bud, I didn't even know the God smoked. And he asked me like, yo, Ak, how many songs you got finished? And I said about 6, 7. He said he had liked it, if it ain't one thing, it's another. So that was just, and this shit was just, I'm being calm and cool right here. I'm like, oh shit, it's the God Rakim right here, But like I said, the beautiful thing about it, because I got a chance to run into Kane too a long time ago. A lot of people always that story up. They be saying, oh, you battled Kane. No, ain't nobody never do no shit like that. It was Harlem Week Uptown on 25th. Shout out to all my Harlem cats. Y'all know when 25th used to come, when Harlem Week used to come straight through 25th. It was like where Victoria 5 was at. See, I'm showing my age. Y'all niggas don't even know that. Victoria 5, and right in the corner, dudes that I was with pushed me into a cypher. So Kane, I was battling some niggas, and Kane just was right there listening to it. But that's how actually the cold chilling thing had popped. Because that was long before Tru Criminal. You dig what I'm saying? A nigga came running down the block. His name was Kareem Davenport. He said he was an A&R for them, which was cold chilling. I'll never forget, they was up in Manhattan too. They was on 66th and Broadway on the 18th floor, some shit like that. And I used to go up there all the time, but like I said, they signed me as an artist in development. I didn't have no manager. I didn't know what royalties was then. They just got, yo, Ak, rhyme over here. Yo, Ak, spit over here, bit over there. They wasn't trying to put me in the studio. I'm like, yo, where the beats at? Where's some producers at? But like I said, see, that's that big label shit. Y'all got Kane, y'all got this nigga, y'all got that. So we not really focused on this nigga right here, even though you might be nice where you coming from your town, but now you stepping in this big ocean, metaphorically speaking. And that's cool. I ain't have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't have a problem with that because it was a learning process. Right. So it made me understand how to approach the next situation if another deal happens to come about. And that's why I said that when we just to skim through it again, that Tru Criminal was real fair, because they looked out for the artists. They made sure we was good, and then they was putting us in good positions where you had to step up. The Hot 97s, like I said, yo, you want this producer? Okay, we're gonna put you in front of this cat. So that's why I learned a lot about myself dealing with the label. You know what I'm saying? As far as where my talent is really at. You know what I'm saying? Word.
So after the East to the West, what was next?
It was If It Ain't One Thing, It's Another. Because after that was the second single. So one thing I noticed was they came to me, they meaning the label, Tru Criminal, and they came to me and they said, well, if it ain't one thing, it's another, we go put this on a Tru Criminal compilation. And that was actually a fire-ass album too, because a lot of niggas don't know off that, if my joint was on there, if it ain't one thing, it's another. The Godsons, FT and them niggas had some shit on there. 50 of them, I got my knives in the house, it's bad news, that was on there. K-Slay was hosting the shit, rest in peace to K-Slay, because I remember I was in the studio when he was actually doing the drops for that album, you know, and I didn't get a chance to really see the album blossom, because like I said, right around that time, that's when the situation had occurred, so I was off the scene for a minute.
Right.
You know, so because they shot the album cover, and you see a variety of individuals on the label from there. But the last thing I really heard about that was when I would say when they had If It Ain't One Thing It's Another made the Bones movie, and I was on the verge of pretty much coming home from there. Anyway, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like I said, what pretty much dark.
So I mean, after you came home,
okay,
right? What transpired? Like what? How did you go forward?
Okay, how I went forward, well, I was financially stable coming home.
Okay.
Let me say that. That was number one. So being financially stable helped. I had apartments and places and things of that nature. And I always just basically just stayed writing. I stayed in the atmosphere, the party zones, you understand what I'm saying? Because I knew this is the atmosphere where you had to be if you promoting a certain brand.
So at this point, you had, what, 6 songs recorded already?
Yes.
So all 6 songs is recorded?
Yes.
Okay, so now you're still trying to be an artist?
Yes.
Okay.
No, actually, I am an artist. I'm still I'm just trying to be an artist that obtained distribution.
Got you.
Because like I said, when we was laying the songs down, when they came to me and I knew it wasn't gonna be just a maxi single, that they was putting it on a compilation album, I said, okay. But my mind told me, all right, well, that means funds must be getting low right here. And I ain't have a problem with that, because once they dropped If It Ain't One Thing It's Another, Stretch spent that off the muscle. You know what I'm saying? That was a fire album right there though. You know what I'm saying? I just wish I was really there to really promote it the way I really would like to. And, you know, unfortunately, like I said, I was in state Grange, you know what I'm saying? So, hey, you know, it is what it is, you know.
What caused the label to crumble?
I would say, once again, lack of distribution. Because what I'm saying is like, it's like if you putting money into something, okay, you're making a turn, but when the turn comes back, it's going right back into another project. It's like money was flowing, but studio time, like I said, marketing and promotion is very expensive. That's why I be laughing at these dudes when I see them come up, they say, oh, Ak, you know, I'm starting a record company. And I'm like, yo, my dude, check this out, right? Like, if you ain't got no major dollars, homie, like, don't even kid yourself and say no shit like that. It's like a motherfucker saying, well, I'm gonna be president tomorrow knowing you got 3 felonies. Like, you're thinking unrealistically. Because what I'm saying is that shit is very, very expensive. And that goes back with I'm pretty sure even they probably would say it like, yo, listen, you know, we was making money, but it wasn't, we needed that distribution. And you can see it with artists, like when you know, not to speak upon nobody else, but like when Hove had dropped, he had the distribution with Priority. They was a nice little distributor, but his shit really ain't popping until you get with a powerhouse joint like Def Jam, where these people can put this money into the product, marketing, promotion. You got labels that spend close to $100,000 a year just on marketing promotion alone, you know? So that's what I believe probably what was really one of the financially, money was being lost. Like, you know, I'm not gonna say nobody was stealing or nothing like that. It just wasn't being generated the way it was supposed to for them to stay afloat. And then you got 3 artists also to maintain. That's why, like I said, when I came home, I was just, you know, staying busy doing freestyles, different mixtapes, you know, going back to my own format. We had all the parties, you know, putting money into yourself, stickers and things of that nature, everything you need. You know, and that's why I pretty much like the way it is now. Because, you know, you got dudes, you know, we didn't have Facebook and Instagram and all that a lot of these cats got. And, you know, a lot of people misuse the shit, but like I said, if you use it for the right things, you can have a good platform. That's how me and you met, you know what I'm saying, through the internet thing. So that's a beautiful thing, you know what I'm saying? Word.
Right. So, I mean, how did they break the news that the label is over?
I'm going to be honest with you, Mr. Dot. It was just, you know what it was? I knew one thing, that the contract was fulfilled. That's one thing I knew on the business aspect. And what it was phone calls stopped coming. everybody slowly but surely just really just branched off and did their own thing. It wasn't even I'm not gonna even say, I never got a call stating like, yo, Ak, this shit is over, we can't do this no more. It was just like, everybody just pretty much went their own way. I ended up seeing FT one time, I think on a train a long time ago, and he was kicking in and shit, and and it was never, everybody just pretty much, I guess, if I had to speculate, excuse me, I would say everybody pretty much just went their own way because their contracts were fulfilled. Nobody was like legally bonded to nothing, so that's how that pretty much went, so you got to put your cleats back on, get back in the dirt, and keep your name floating, and that's what I'm doing now,
So, all right, so the label is done. How did you make money?
Well, I made money from a lot of things, like I said, of course I was back to the streets with it, straight hustle with that, was back to the streets. And when I was in the streets prior, I knew how to put money up. You dig what I'm saying? So, that's one of the main things in the streets too, to stack of dollars. So when work is slow, you still have something to lean back on. So I was, like I said, I was pretty much good. I was in a good apartment, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I always kept myself financially stable, man. You know what I'm saying? Am I where I really want to be? No. But, we're alive and we breathing. So as long as you're doing that, you can always achieve, you know what I'm saying? So that's how we was doing that. Basically, I was a street cat getting to it,
What was the highlight, you would say, of your career?
Okay, that's a good question. That's a good question. I would say the highlight of my career was Hot 97. The reason why I said that, because when I got a chance, like I said, I did Hot 97 twice. One was live and one was pre-recorded. And the pre-recorded one we actually did first. But going up there, just that whole Hot 97 experience, and the reason why I say that, because I went up there, like I said, on the strength of me. I know a lot of cats got up there on the strength because you with Joe Blow, or you with such and such, or you with Blasey, but no, they was waiting for your boy Pt2-Ak Skills to come up there. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
And
who was spinning that night?
That was Stretch Armstrong. They used to come on Sunday nights, and it was from 12 to 2.
Right.
And I remember we went up there, and I didn't take a whole bunch of people with me. It was me, my DJ KO, and I took my baby moms. Rest in peace, Kaya was actually with me. I wish I would have had this footage like we got now, because I was supposed to have all this. But it was just like, sitting in the lounge area, and it's like, oh shit, this is where hip hop motherfucker lives at, And I got busy, man. And I tell a lot of people, yo, check that freestyle out on YouTube, man. Pt2-Ak Skills freestyle. I got a lot of freestylers out there that's just floating around too.
Right.
From because like I said, I had a lot of different people that was handling things, and then when you're not there, sometimes like shit get compromised. Like my Instagram account got hacked, and but Facebook, shout out to Facebook right now. Big up to Facebook, because that's where a lot of my views is coming through the book. I'm like in a light little the 3G club, 2G club, but people was watching, and that's all I'm really concerned with, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we gonna keep doing this shit for the whole Far Rock America. Word up.
Speaking of Far Rock. Did you know Stack Bundles? Yes.
Storm, let me say that too, because I should have been said that. I believe it said Storm, big up the Stack, you know what I'm saying? Stack Bundles. Storm, big up to Chinks. Now that was my dude too. I'm gonna get to that question. Storm, big up to my man Law Superb too. You know what I'm saying? Law Superb out of Far Rockaway. But yeah, Stacks was good people. Me and Stacks actually was on. This is another thing that my man Madlock had just detailed. We was actually on a Far Rock's Finest like mixtape he had a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? And the joint was fire. He had the freestyle and shit like that. Cause I'm from Edgemere. Stack is from Redfern. We call it Redfern Leadburn. Yeah. I got love for the whole Fern up there from the Hassock all the way through. And but it was like what it was when I was in the can. See, I was out doing my thing. When I was out, they wasn't out. I first, I'm gonna say right around 98, 99, when I was in the can, I really started hearing about them. Right. So I said, okay, that's homeboy, because I knew a cat from Redfern named was Scarchild. He was nice too from the Fern. And I said, okay, so I'm putting on for the Rock. Okay, I respect that. You know what I'm saying? That's peace. I definitely got big respect. We pump Stack all day. You know what I'm saying? That's my boy. Rest in peace to that man. And Chinks also, that was my dude too, Lionel Pickett, you know what I mean? And me and him had the same PO, you know what I'm saying, Miss Murillo. I remember the last time I saw Chinks in like 05, 07, was in a spot called the Bungalows. She had violated me just like she violated him, you know? And then I saw the Cocaine City DVDs and all that shit with him on it. So I got big respect for my niggas coming out the rock, man, you know what I'm saying? Big up King Streets, all the peoples, you know? And, you know, 'cause we got some heavy spitters coming out the rock, you know what I'm saying? My Ocean Villain, Scott Kane and them, you know what I'm saying? Un Pacino, you know, just giving you a little Far Rock history, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, my man Law Superb, you know? And like I said, we was all in the mix, you know what I'm saying? Everybody knew about each other. But see, one thing I found out really with this New York wave is like, you pretty much in New York gotta, and I was just telling my other half the other night this, you pretty much in New York have to make your own lane. And what I mean by that is because I noticed in other jurisdictions, you could be like, let's say down south, you could be the corniest nigga in the town, but they gonna pull you up and fuck with you. The unity bond is like New York always been like that. Like I'm not gonna, like some of the best MCs come out of New York, that's a fact.
Right.
But it's like, it's a lot of, you gotta, metaphorically speaking, you gotta elbow your way through all this, like I said, through this polluted industry and shit, because there's a lot of, it's like, so everybody, that's how pretty much the rock was. Everybody is pretty much doing what they want to. Like you might hear about Son, okay, Son getting busy from the 40s, or Son getting busy from Edgemere, Son, so you know, it just went around, it just goes around, but everybody intertwined and know each other. God forbid, Big Cap, may he rest in peace, was always telling me about, he wanted to put together like a Far Rock mixtape called an Alcatraz or whatever. But, you know, that never materialized. Then the God went back to the essence, so, you know, that pretty much was that. And, but, you know, that's what it always meant, you know, so you have to basically make your own lane. Like, that's why I said a lot of people knew about the God out there in Far Rockaway, because before I had got this happened, we was everywhere with it, you know, making our bones, you know what I'm saying? So that's how that pretty much went. But strong big up, like I said to them brothers again, man, you know.
Did Stack salute you? Like, did he know about you?
Of course he did, yeah, of course he did. I used to see Stack all the time because I used to deal with his man, no homo, Paul's my man, Dills. And me and his right hand man, you know what I'm saying? You know, niggas know about the bracelet right here, you know, the Far Rock bracelet, you know. And long story short, I used to deal with his man through other things. When Stack had the two-tone beam, hair out and all that, so he would come see me and I would deal with his man. Me and his man was taking care of other business, you know what I'm saying? And he'd be like, yo, I heard that joint you did. And yo, Stack, I heard that joint you did, boom, boom, boom. And, but most likely, I would say really my road dog, really coming out the rock, who I pretty much was like, really my son was my man Perv, Lawson Perv, that was with the Woo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's your age range.
Yeah, that's my dude, because that's like my little protege right there. Bars is heavy, you know what I'm saying? And you know, that was really my dude. But I got big respect, like I said, for the Stacks, like I said, for Chinks, those are people, you know, that was carrying the torch for the younger brothers, for my YGs and all that, so to speak. You know, and I got big respect for my young niggas, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Word, you know?
All right, so let's talk about aging in rap.
Okay, all right.
Because people seem to think when it's rap, you got to stop rapping at a certain age. You agree or you disagree with that?
I totally disagree with that. The reason why I disagree with that, I was talking to some people with my other half about that too. I think that's fucked up what they do in hip hop. I mean, and I say that because why are we putting an age bracket on flavor? So like let's just like right now, some of the hottest albums that are out right now, the Ghostes, the Rays, these are the older cats. And you know, I think it's like, you know, just because I've even seen a little funny shit they try to put on Facebook. Oh, you know, you 40, if you're 40, you need to start thinking about jazz now, old man. I pay all that shit don't mean nothing. Cause see, let me tell you something. One thing I know, critics fuck a critic. You know, you talk about it while I live it, man. You dig what I'm saying? You got rock and roll artists and shit like that be 60 and 70 still doing their thing. You know, nobody speaks about that. But you know, I think that's just the dilemma and the stigma that hangs over the rap game, where they put, you know, it's about good music.
Right. Good
music can come from young or old.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And especially when you one of the older cats that, like I said, my young niggas fuck with me, you know, so you got to be in the loop. Them niggas always want me to spit. So that's how I used to look at it too. I used to be like, yeah, okay, when they ain't really fucking with you like that no more, then you know, you might be a little washed up. But when the young niggas is really fucking with you, like, yo, I just heard that, and boom, 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 you still relevant, you know?
Yeah, hell yeah. I think once you come up in the game, you started young, and you still want to do it at 40, 50, 60, keep doing it.
That's a fact, because this is your passion.
Yeah, my only problem with the older rappers is a lot of them are not delivering. Beans and meth are killing everything.
Okay, now when you say that, be more specific when you say that.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you an example.
Okay.
Right, and it's no, you know, not taking a shot, but
no, I know. Go ahead.
Memphis Bleak.
Okay.
Bleak did a song with Benny the Butcher.
Oh, okay.
And
probably Conway.
No, Benny the Butcher and Smoke DZA.
Smoke DZA. Okay, I ain't hear that. I gotta check for that.
Bleak had the weakest verse on the song.
Oh shit. Okay. Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And I was disappointed.
Wow.
Because this is somebody from my era.
Okay.
I want to talk about this verse with my coworker. Yo, Bleak smoke them niggas.
Okay.
Bleak, I can't.
Okay, well, you know what? Well, you know what? With a situation like that, I'm not gonna really speak upon that like that. You know, because number one, I didn't hear the jam.
Right.
That's number one. And but you know, sometimes, you know, the reason why I say I feel the older cats is really delivering to me because, like I said, what we've been dealing with is like, you know, even though we here to talk about Ak Skills, but some of the joints where Ak Skills been listening to, like that Ghost album right now, Supreme Clientele 2, that shit is fire. You dig what I'm saying? That Raekwon new album, that shit is fire. You know, I fucks with Clips. So be it. That shit is fire.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? So, and everything Nas doing over there with the mass appeal and all that shit, you know, and then, you know, so we got some heavy ball spitters, us older cats, and these niggas better know that. But, you know, everybody on certain jams, you know, some people will step up, you know, and some people won't on certain jams, you know. But, you know, because that's a heavy little combo you with over there, Conway and you know, so I have nothing bad to say about the man because I didn't hear the jam.
I would say about a year and change ago, I did an interview with FT. And I'm like, my whole plan is to get like the whole Tru Criminal.
True. Okay, that should be ill.
So I'm like, let me see if I could reach out to Ak Skills.
No doubt.
I hit you on the gram, no response. Where were you?
Well, actually, when you just showed me that, I was actually incarcerated, and I know you like, God damn, you just can't. But when you showed me that text, it was 2023. I was in, where the fuck was I at? I was actually in Washington, which is a medium correctional facility. Now, how that shit really came about was pretty much like this. I was in the process, like I said, working as far as like working on my material, and we was doing the same thing like we was doing. What I mean by that is I was getting the views up on Instagram, getting them up on Facebook as we fast forward now, doing shows periodically around. And I caught a gun charge, man, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and a nigga said, well, damn, you know.
This was in the city?
This was in the city. This happened in Far Rockaway. This was June, this was March 22nd. Because I was actually getting ready for my born day. My born day, shout out to all them Aries out there. My born day is April 1st. You know, niggas say April Fool's Day. Nah, nigga, that's check day. You understand what I'm saying? But, I
mean, take me to that day.
Well, basically how that shit occurred was, sometimes, I'm going to say this, sometimes when all money is not good. You understand what I'm saying? And it was an individual that I pretty much knew, and, she brought me some bad money. And what I mean by bad money for the people out there, it was police money. You understand what I'm saying? So when she brought the money to me, the transaction was made. You dig what I'm saying? She went where she went, and I was going to a car. Because I had a Jeep at the time. I had a Lex Jeep at the time. And the next thing I know, motherfuckers came running up on me. Found out later they was the D's. You dig what I'm saying? So they throw me and this bitch in the van. And I'm saying that because I'm like, damn, like, you don't, one thing about these streets, see, these streets, pause, will swallow you whole. This is why you have to know who you're dealing with. Like, when I came in here with people, anybody I bring you around is official tissue. I'm not going to come in here with, let's say, the Snapple bottle, and we just met the Snapple bottle downstairs. But see, people that when you're dealing with people that have had addicts. Addicts, you know what I'm saying, do shit like that sometimes. And then these police know that shit too. They feed off of shit like, oh, you know, I can go get something that, and it'd be some shit like that. You dig what I'm saying? And cause like I said, I've been, you know, we play the blocks, but at the end of the day, like I said, shit is more smoother these days. So it was just, it was like a victim of circumstance. And did I want to get caught? Hell no, I didn't want to get caught. Because I ended up that was a $30,000 bail I had to deal with, which I bailed out. I was good. But it was like it was stacked against me because I didn't have no case. And the reason why I didn't have no case is because the cop observed the transaction that went down. It wasn't like they ran on me because I'm doing dumb shit, busting hammers up in the sky. Now, I don't never do no dumb shit like that. Never did that. If I do got the joint on me, it's for protection because it's foul in these streets. I'll be in a lot of areas and it'd be a lot of foul shit going on. That shit, a lot of that shit you seeing on YouTube and all that shit is real shit. Niggas is going down. So, like I said, I'd rather get caught with it than without it. You dig what I'm saying? And I stand by that. Now, I wasn't making no, before I caught that in 2021, I wasn't in no shit for a minute. And the judge took that into consideration. I wasn't on no parole. I wasn't on no probation. You know, like I said, I was in my own spot, you know, basically just getting my shit together. You dig what I'm saying? But, you know, we were shaking and moving in the process. Right. You know, and to get back to the point, you know what I'm saying, I got caught with a hammer, you know what I'm saying, 265.03, criminal possession of the weapon. You know, nice joint too, but that's neither here nor there. And to make a long story, I got a 3 flat behind that. You dig what I'm saying? So I didn't do that bag, you know what I'm saying? I got a 3 flat. I did 30 months out of that. And see, that's when, right around the time when you had hit me, because I went pause. When I went from Rikers Island, and then I went to a spot called Green. You know what I'm saying? Which is Green is a rough spot. You dig what I'm saying? Medium spot up north. Stayed in Green for a minute, you know, man, I had to spank a nigga in Green, you know what I'm saying, because they putting adults with adolescents. And I ended up in Washington, another spot, which is in this same little hub, you dig what I'm saying? And that's right around the time when you had hit me, pause. Right. But the beautiful thing about that was, like, one thing about even in the can now, you know, the dudes got kiosks in the can now, where they even making, like, even the jail process where you can stay more in tune to what's going on. You dig what I'm saying? But but see, I think that Instagram right there, which was the Pt2-Ak Skills 78, was compromised. Gotcha. And I'm gonna keep it a buck, you know what I'm saying? It was a broad that, you know, that basically didn't do what she was supposed to do. And you know, some females do. You got all on the Instagram and shit and got the fucking shit up that I had in place, you know. That's probably how I missed that, you know, from you. Right. You know, but it is what it is. We back now. You can check the new Instagram out as Pt2-Ak Skills, and we getting it up, man. That's what we doing.
Yes, sir. So fast forward to today. Okay. What you got going on today?
Okay, well, what's going on today is you got to look for the new EP I'm going to have coming out. It's going to be called Better Late Than Never. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say that again. A new EP coming out. It's called Better Late Than Never. You know, I'm in the works with some dudes where they basically put my own little label together too, called Serious Cash Entertainment. You know, podcast. I need some of this podcast money too. We was working on some joints too called You Should Have Stopped Me. That's gonna be the name of a podcast I'm gonna have. So I got a lot of ideas in the works. You know, I'm just a realness with shit. I just don't really speak about shit until it really come full surface. Right. So the main thing now, I just got into a new spot, new apartment. So, you know, we basically lamping, you know, and like I said, I'm just gonna be pushing through these media outlets, getting on the Spotify and, you know, Apple, iTunes and things of that nature. Because I got a nice little following, you know. So like I said, that's why I like to say before, like, you know, I was the invisible man. Because a lot of people know the face. A lot of people heard the name, but don't really know the face. Yeah. And that shit be killing me. Because when I be looking on YouTube sometime, I see freestyles up there with my bars, but another nigga standing there. And I'm saying to myself, like, first of all, I don't even know how another nigga can do that, because if that's not my body of work, I'm not gonna be standing behind that. Yeah. You know, that's another thing I'm gonna tell my people on YouTube. They got a cat out there, he like this with a watch and a hat. That is not Ak Skills, neither. That is not me. You know what I'm saying? You can check me out on YouTube on the Ak Skills Freestyles, where you see the So Far Rock Challenge and things of that nature. But Yeah, that's pretty much, that's what that was. And like I said, I just tell my people, you know, keep the ear to the streets, you know.
Right.
And really, what I can say now is really Facebook, Instagram, and all that, you know, because shit is different these days. Like I heard a dude even the other day on the radio was talking about how it was stacked. It was October, and niggas wasn't really spinning stack shit like that. It was some dude that was on there. So these, you know, so these DJs and shit that's going on. There's a lot of politics going on.
Right.
These DJs go up to these stations, man, and they play with the fuckers on the list, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They not, so it's not, like, that's why I miss the K Slaves, rest in peace. I miss Stretch and Bobito. I miss Peter Rosenberg. You know what I'm saying? Because these are dudes that was really catering to that, the Stretch and Bobitos that catering to that good old fashioned hip hop, breaking good records. You know what I'm saying? These niggas today, you know, it's like, This game is a little twisted today, but you know, you just gotta deal, they say you gotta go through the shit, you know what I'm saying, before you get to the sugar. So, you know,
right.
that's how you go, that's how you do that.
That's dope right there.
You know, word up.
That's dope right there.
And that's the whole truth.
Yeah. Okay. Any last words though?
Only thing I just want to say like this, yo, check the Mr.Ak Skills out, like I said, on these platforms, you know, iTunes, Spotify. Check me out, you know what I'm saying, basically on my Facebook, which is Ak Skills, Far Rock. You know, I know y'all probably go on there and see mad different Facebooks on there. I'll be losing the passcode sometime and shit get compromised. Check me out on the Instagram. You know, I am Ak Skills. I'm in the process of getting some TikTok shit together because I see they doing this shit with the TikTok too. I gotta do that too.
Right.
And then I'm gonna just say it like this. I said, Joe, I ain't a drill rapper. I'm a field trapper. Non-clap, but I'm gonna bring that back real quick. I said, Joe, we gonna do this like this, man.
You remember?
Yo, the Mr.Ak Skill. I said, Joe, man, check it. I ain't a drill rapper. I'm a field trapper. Non-clapper. I stay in the latest shit, the guard dapper. If I have to, I'ma smash your team. I see cash this mean, thrashing fiends, stashing green. You niggas are half-ass. The guard stay high as a giraffe ass. Smoking exotic strands of gas. You won't last. I keep the ratchet in the package, stashing the package. I'm in a different tax bracket. That's word to Sean Tater, Ak Skills don't play. Leave you dead up in the ocean of Bay Far Rockaway when the Glock spray. You chumps be frontin'. Niggas will put you last, but call you first when they need something. I'm in the V frontin'. Trees dumping, beats bumping, watching for police coming. I keep a different stroke like Phil Drummond, my folks dumbing, running from court cases, warrants and summons. They don't want to see me with respect. These crackers want to put their knee on my neck. That's why I dip with the V in the jacks. Rest in peace to my man DMX. I hold texts and collect drug money and cash checks. I sit Bex while I'm making these hits. You like black people at the Oscars, you ain't getting shit. I hold a grip for niggas running their lips. And while you at the corner store, I'm on exotic trips. I took a zip of that Gorilla Glue. I ain't feeling your crew, and if your bitch flirting, nigga, I'm drilling your boo. I'm killing you, I know you heard I fell, I murdered, never tell, cause my metaphors are hard like a turtle shell. So bring your gang and your crew, I'm daring you. When I'm on the block, the iPhone jump like a kangaroo. I'm banging your boo, banana tight. When I was in jail, I touched more letters than Vanna White. Rest in peace to Shock G and Black Rob. I sell hard, the only job I had in life was a blowjob. You can't relate to the God, cause you were faking the fraud. I'm taking your broad, your whole style is a facade. I'll bow guard like Humphrey for basic suckers. I hate racist motherfuckers, my chick thick like Smuckers. I cause ruckus for them knocks in their courts. How you fly to the nigga from Queens? We got 2 airports. Bars, nigga. What? Let's go. Part the little fuck up, you know. We had to get it right and get the key measure and be good though. But Mr.Ak Skills, Mr. Dark, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my manager that's in the building, you know what I'm saying? Taking care of business. That Envision, that's what we doing. You know, big up to the whole Far Rock America, Edgeman PJs, Heat Holding Hamels, GIB, 7115, you know what I'm saying? All the peoples, Wave Crest, 40s, Redburn, Leadburn, you know what I'm saying? The Savior, you know what I'm saying? All my peoples, man. Love is love. Ak Skills, man.
All right, we out.
We out. Peace.